Hello, my name is Deanne. This is Deanne's Treasure Studio, where I read gaming content not available on Audible. So gather around, friends, to hear free reading 2024 Chapter 7 Spell Descriptions N.O.B. Spells in Non-Detection, Level 3, Abjuration, Bard, Ranger, Wizard, Casting Time, Action, Range Touch, Components VSM, a pinch of diamond dust worth 25 plus gold pieces, which the spell consumes, duration 8 hours. For the duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination spells. The target can be a willing creature, or it can be a place or an object no larger than 10 feet in any dimension. The target can't be targeted by any divination spell or perceived through magical scrying sensors. Nigel's Magical Aura, Level 2 Illusion Wizard. Casting time, action, range, touch, components, VSM, a small square of silk. Duration 24 hours. You touch a place, an illusion on the willing creature or an object that isn't being worn or carried. A creature gains the mask effect below. The object gains the false aura effect below. The effect lasts for the duration. If you cast a spell on the same target every day for 30 days, the illusion lasts until dispelled. Mask a creature. Choose a creature type other than the target's actual type. Spells and other magical effects treat the target as if it were a creature of the chosen type. False aura object, you choose the way the target appears to spells and magical effects that detect magical auras, such as detect magic. You can take a non-magical item appear magical, or take a magical item to appear non-magical, or change the object's aura so that it appears to belong to a school you choose. Spells, Odaluk's Freezing Sphere, Level 6 Evocation, Sorcerer, Wizard. Casting time, action, range 300 feet. Components, VSM, a miniature crystal sphere, duration instantaneous. A frigid globe streaks from you to a point of your choice within range, where it explodes in a 60-foot radius sphere. Each creature in that area makes a Constitution saving throw, taking 10d6 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. If the globe strikes a body of water, it freezes the water to the depth of 6 inches over the area of a 30-foot square. This ice lasts for 1 minute. Creatures that were swimming on the surface of the frozen water are trapped in the ice and must make a restrained condition. A trapped creature can take an action or make a strength save athletics against your spell DC to break free. You can refrain from firing the globe after completing the spell's casting. If you do so, a globe about the size of a sling bullet, cool to the touch, appears in your hand. At any time, you or a creature you give the globe to can throw the globe to a range of 40 feet or hurl it with a sling to the sling's normal range. It shatters on impact, with the same effect as the normal cast of the spell. You can also set the globe down without shattering it. After a minute the globe hasn't already shattered, it explodes. Using a higher level spell slot, the damage increases by 1d6 for each spell slot above 6. Odaluk's Resilient Sphere, Level 4 Abjuration Wizard. Casting time, action, range 30 feet. Components, VSM, a glass sphere. Duration, concentration up to 1 minute. A shimmering sphere encloses a large or smaller creature or object within range. The unwilling creature must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or be enclosed for the duration. Nothing, non-physical objects, energy, or other spell effects can pass through the barrier in or out, though a creature in the sphere can breathe there. The sphere is immune to all damage, and a creature or object inside can be damaged by attacks or effects originating from outside, nor can the creature inside the sphere damage anything outside it. The sphere is weightless and just large enough to contain the creature or object inside. An enclosed creature can take an action to push against the sphere's walls and thus roll the sphere at up to half the creature's speed. Similarly, the globe can be picked up and moved by other creatures. A disintegrate spell targeting the globe destroys it without harming anything inside. Otto's Irresistible Dance, level 6 enchantment, bard, wizard. Casting time, action, range 30 feet, components V, duration, concentration up to 1 minute. One creature that you can see within range must make a wisdom saving throw. On a successful save, the target dances comically until the end of its next turn, during which it must expend all of its movement to dance in place. On a failed save, the target has the charmed condition for the duration. While charmed, the target dances comically, must use all of its movement to dance in place, and has the disadvantage on dexterity saving throws and attack rolls. And another creature has advantage on attack rolls against it. On each of its turns, the target can take an action to collect itself and repeat the save, ending the spell on itself on a success. P spells. Pass wall. Level 5 transmutation wizard. Casting time, action, range 30 feet, components VSM, a pinch of sesame seeds. Duration 1 hour. A passage appears at a point that you can see on a wooden, plaster, or stone surface, such as a wall, ceiling, or floor, within range, and lasts for the duration. You choose the opening's dimensions up to 5 feet wide, 8 feet tall, and 20 feet deep. The passage creates no instability in a structure surrounding it. When the opening disappears, any creatures or objects still in the passage created by the spell are safely ejected to an unoccupied space nearest to the surface on which you cast the spell. Pass without a trace. Level 2 Abjuration Druid Ranger. Casting time, action, range, self, components VSM, ashes from burned mistletoe. Duration, concentration up to 1 hour. You radiate a concealing aura and a 30-foot emanation for the duration. While in the aura, you and each creature you chose have a plus 10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks and leaves no tracks. Phantasmal Force. Level 2 Illusion, Bard, Sorcerer, Wizard. Casting time, action, range 60 feet. Components VSM, a bit of fleece. Duration, concentration up to 1 minute. Phantasmal Force. Level 2 Illusion, Bard, Sorcerer, Wizard. Casting time, action, range 60 feet. Components VSM, a bit of fleece. Duration, concentration up to 1 minute. You attempt to craft an illusion in the mind of a creature you can see within range. The target makes an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, you create a phantasmal object, creature, or phantom that is no larger than a 10-foot cube and that is perceivable only to the target for the duration. The phantasm includes sound, temperature, and other stimuli. The target can take a study action to examine the phantom on an intelligence investigation check against your spell DC. If the check succeeds, the target realizes the phantom is an illusion, and the spell ends. While affected by the spell, the target treats the phantasm as if it were real and rationalizes any illogical outcomes from interacting with it. For example, if the target steps through the phantasmal bridge and survives the fall, it believes that the bridge exists and something else caused it to fall. An affected target can take damage from the illusion if the phantasm represents a dangerous creature or hazard. On each of your turns, such a phantom can deal 2d8 psychic damage to the target if it is in the phantom's area or within 5 feet of the phantasm. The target perceives the damage as a type appropriate to the illusion. Phantasmal Killer, level 4 illusion, bard, wizard, casting time, action. Range 120 feet, components vs duration, concentration up to 1 minute. You tap into the nightmares of a creature you can see within range and the creature and create, let me repeat that. You tap into the nightmares of a creature you can see within range and create an illusion of its deepest fears, visible only to the creature. The target makes a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes 4d10 psychic damage and has disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls for the duration. On a successful save, the target takes half as much damage and the spell ends. For the duration, the target makes a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. On a failed save, it takes psychic damage again. On a successful save, the spell ends. Using a spell slot higher, the damage increases 1d10 for each spell slot level above 4. Moving on to Phantom Steed. Level 3 Illusion Wizard. Casting time 1 minute or ritual. Range 30 feet. Components vs duration 1 hour. A large, quasi-real horse-like creature appears on the ground in an unoccupied space of your choice within range. You decide the creature's appearance, and it is equipped with a saddle, bit, and bridle. Any of the equipment created by the spell vanishes in a puff of smoke if it is carried more than 10 feet away from the steed. For the duration, you or a creature of your choice can ride the steed. The steed uses the riding horse stat blocks. See Appendix B, except it has a speed of 100 feet and can travel 13 miles per hour. When the spell ends, the steed gradually fades, giving the rider 1 minute to dismount. The spell ends early if the steed takes any damage. Planner Ally, level 6 Conjuration Cleric. Casting time 10 minutes, range 60 feet, components vs duration instantaneous. You beseech an otherworldly entity for aid. The being must be known to you, a god, a demon, prince, or some other being of cosmic power. The entity sends a celestial, an elemental, or a fiend loyal to it to aid you, making a creature appear in an unoccupied space within range. If you know a specific creature's name, you can speak that name when you cast a spell to request that creature, though you might get a different creature anyway, DM's choice. When the creature appears, it is under no compulsion to behave a particular way. You can ask it to perform a service in exchange for payment, but it isn't obligated to do so. The requested task could range from simple fly us across the chasm or help us fight a battle to complex spy on an enemies or our project protect us during our foray into the dungeon. You must be able to communicate with the creature to bargain for its services. Payment can take a variety of forms. A celestial might require a sizable donation of gold or magic items to an allied temple, while a fiend might demand a living sacrifice or a gift of treasure. Some creatures might exchange their service for a quest to undertake by you. A task can be measured in minutes, requires a payment worth 100 gold pieces per minute. A task measured in hours requires 1,000 gold pieces per hour, and a task measured in days is up to 10 days, requires 10,000 gold pieces per day. The DM can adjust these payments based on the circumstances under which you cast the spell. If the task is aligned with the creature's ethos, and the payment might be halved or even wavered. Non-hazardous tasks typically require only half as the suggested payment, while especially dangerous tasks might require a greater gift. Creatures rarely accept tasks that seem suicidal. After the creature completes the task or when the agreed upon duration of service expires, the creature returns to its home plane after reporting back to you if possible. If you are unable to agree to a price for the creature's service, the creature immediately returns to its home plane. Planar Binding, Level 5, Abjuration, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Warlock, Wizard. Casting time, 1 hour. Range, 60 feet. Components, VSM. A jewel worth 1,000 plus gold pieces, which the spell consumes. Hungry spell, huh? Duration 24 hours. You attempt to bind a celestial or elemental, a fae or a fiend to your service. The creature must be within range for the entire casting of the spell. Typically, the creature is first summoned into the center of the inverted version of the magic circle. Spell to trap it while this spell is cast. At the completion of the casting, the target must succeed on a charisma saving throw or be bound to serve you for the duration. If the creature was summoned or created by another spell, the spell's duration is expended to match the duration for this spell. A bound creature must follow your commands to the best of its ability. You might command the creature to accompany you on an adventure, to guard a location, or deliver a message. If the creature is hostile, it strives to twist your commands to achieve its own objectives. If the creature carries out your commands completely before the spell ends, it travels to you to report this fact if you are on the same plane of existence. If you are on a different plane, it returns to the plane where you bound it and remains there until the spell ends. Using a higher level spell slot, the duration increases with the spell slot of level 6, 10 days, 7, 30 days, 8, 180 days, and 9, 366 days. Plane Shift, Level 7, Conjuration, Cleric, Druid, Sorcerer, Warlock, Wizard. Casting time, action, range, touch, components, VSM. A forked metal rod worth 250 plus gold pieces, and attuned to a plane of existence. Duration instantaneous. You and up to 8 willing creatures who link hands in a circle are teleported to a different plane of existence. You can specify a target destination in general terms, such as the city of Brass on the elemental plane of fire, or the plane of Dispatcher on the second level of the 9 hells, and you appear in or near the destination as determined by the DM. Alternatively, if you know the sigil sequence of a teleportation circle and another plane of existence, this spell can take you to that circle. If the teleportation circle is too small to hold all creatures you teleported, they appear in the closest unoccupied space next to the circle. Plant growth, level 3, transmutation, bard, druid, ranger. Casting time, action. Overgrowth or 8 hours, enrichment. Range 150 feet, components vs duration instantaneous. This spell channels vitality into plants. The casting time you use determines whether the spell has the overgrowth or the enrichment effect below. Overgrowth, choose a point within range. All normal plants in a 100-foot radius spheres centered on that point become thick and overgrown. A creature moving through this area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves. You can exclude 1 or more areas of any size within the spell's area from being affected. Enrichment. All plants in a half-mile radius centered on the points within range become enriched for 365 days. The plants yield twice the normal amount of food when harvested, and they can benefit from only 1 plant growth per year. Poison, spray, necromancy, cantrip, druid, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Casting time, action, range 30 feet, components vs duration instantaneous. You spray toxic mist at a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d12 poison damage. Cantrip upgrade. The damage increases by 1d12 when you reach levels 5 2d12, 11 3d12, and 17 4d12. Polymorph. Level 4, transmutation, bard, druid, sorcerer, wizard. Casting time, action, range 60 feet. Components VSM, a caterpillar cocoon. I don't know why I can't say that. A caterpillar cocoon. Duration, concentration, up to 1 hour. That was funny. You attempt to transform a creature that you can see within range into a beast. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or shapeshift into a beast form for the duration. That form can be any beast you choose that has the challenge rating equal to or less than the target's, or the target's level if it doesn't have a challenge rating. The target's game statistics are replaced by the stat block of the chosen beast, but the target retains its alignment, personality, creature type, hit points, and hit dice. The target gains a number of temporary hit points equal to the hit points of the beast form. These temporary hit points vanish if any remain when the spell ends. The spell ends early if the target if it has no temporary hit points left. The target is limited to the actions it can perform by the autonomy of its new form, and it can't speak or cast spells. The target's gear melts into the new form. The creature can't use or otherwise benefit from any of that equipment. Power word fortify. Level 7 enchantment bard cleric. Casting time, action, range 60 feet, components V, duration instantaneous. You fortify up to 6 creatures you can see within range. The spell bestows 120 temporary hit points, which you divide amongst the spell's reciprocants. Moving on to power word heal, level 9 enchantment, druid cleric. Excuse me, it is bard cleric. Casting time, action, range is 60 feet, components V, duration instantaneous. A wave of healing energy washes over one creature you see within range. The target regains all its hit points. If the creature has the charmed, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned condition, the condition ends. If the creature has the prone condition, it can use its reaction to stand up. Power word kill. Level 9 enchantment. Bard, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Casting time, action. Range 60 feet. Components V. Duration instantaneous. You compel the one creature you can see within range to die. If the target has 100 hit points or fewer, it dies. Otherwise, it takes 12d12 psychic damage. Power word stun. Level 8 enchantment bard, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Casting time, action, range 60 feet. Components V. Duration instantaneous. You overwhelm the mind of one creature you can see within range. If the target has 150 hit points or fewer, it has the stunned condition. Otherwise, its speed is 0 until the start of your next turn. The stunned target makes a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the condition on itself on a success. Prayer of healing. Level 2 abjuration cleric paladin. Casting time 10 minutes, range 30 feet. Components V. Duration instantaneous. Up to 5 creatures of your choice who remain within range for the spell's entire casting gains the benefits of a short rest and also regain 2d8 hit points. A creature can't be affected by the spell again until that creature finishes a long rest. Using a higher level spell slot, the healing increases 1d8 for each spell slot level above 2. Prestidigitation, transmutation, cantrip, bard, sorcerer, warlock, wizard. Casting time, action. Range 10 feet. Components VS. Duration up to 1 hour. You create a magical effect within range. Choose the effect from the options below. If you cast this spell multiple times, you can have up to 3 of its non-instantaneous effects active at a time. Sensory effect. You create an instant harmless sensory effect such as a shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint musical notes, an odd odor. Fire play. You instantly light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or campfire. Clean or soil. You instantly clean or soil an object no larger than 1 cubic foot. Minor sensation. You chill, warm, or flavor up to 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. Magic mark. You make a color or small mark or a symbol appear on an object or surface for 1 hour. Minor creation, you create a non-magical trinket or an illusionary image that can fit in your hand. It lasts until the end of your turn. A trinket can deal no damage and has no monetary worth. Prismatic spray. Level 7 evocation, bard, sorcerer, wizard, casting time, action. Range, self components vs. Duration, instantaneous. 8 rays of light flash from you in a 60-foot cone. Each creature in the cone makes a dexterity saving throw for each target. Roll 1d8 to determine which color rays affects it, consulting the prismatic rays table. Prismatic rays. 1d8 and gray. So on a 1 is red, failed save, 12d6 fire damage, successful save, half as much. 2, orange, failed save, 12d6 acid damage, successful save is half as much. 3, yellow, failed save, 12d6 lightning damage, successful save, half as much. 4 is green, failed save is 12d6 poison damage, successful save half as much. 5 blue, failed save 12d6 cold damage, successful save half as much. 6 indigo, failed save, target has the restrained condition and makes a constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. If successfully saves 3 times, the condition ends. If the fails 3 times, then it is petrified condition until it is freed by the effect, like the Greater Restoration spell. The successes and failures needn't be consecutive. Keep track of both until the target collects 3 of a kind. Number 7 is violet, failed save. The target has the blinded condition and makes a wisdom saving throw at the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the condition ends with, on a failed save, the condition, hold on. On a successful save, the condition ends. On a failed save, the condition ends. And the creature teleports to another plane of existence, DM's choice. Okay. 8, special. The target is struck by 2 rays. Roll twice, re-rolling any 8s. Prismatic wall, level 9, abjuration, bard, wizard, casting time, action. Range 60 feet, components vs. duration 10 minutes. A shimmering multicolored plane of light forms a vertical opaque wall up to 90 feet tall, 90 feet long, and 30 feet high and 1 inch thick, centered on a point within range. Alternatively, you shape the wall into a globe up to 30 feet in diameter, centered on a point within range. The wall lasts for the duration. If you position the wall in a space occupied by a creature, the spell ends instantly without effect. The wall sheds bright light within 100 feet and dim light in additional 100 feet. You and creatures you designate when you cast the spell can pass through and near the wall without harm. Any other creature that can see the wall moves within 20 feet of it starts its turn there. The creature must succeed on a constitution saving throw or have the blinded condition for 1 minute. The wall consists of 7 layers, each of which have a different color. When the creature reaches into or passes through all the layers, each layer forces the creature to make a dexterity saving throw or be affected by the layer's properties as described in the prismatic layers table. The wall, which has AC 10, can be destroyed one layer at a time in order for the red to violet to be means to specific each layer. If the layer is destroyed, it is gone for the duration. Anti-magic field has no effect on the wall, and the dispel magic can affect only the violet layer. Prismatic layers. 1 is red. Failed save, 12d6 fire damage. Successful save, half as much damage. Additional effects. Non-magical range attacks can't pass through the layer, which is destroyed if it takes damage, at least 25 cold damage. 2, orange. Failed save, 12d6 acid damage. Successful save, half as much damage. Additional effects. Magical ranged attacks can't pass through this layer, which is destroyed by a strong wind, such as one created by gust of wind. 3, yellow. Failed save, 12d6 lightning damage. Successful save, half as much damage. Additional effects. The layer is destroyed if it takes at least 60 force damage. 4, green. Failed save, 12d6 poison damage. Successful save, half as much damage. Additional effects. A pass wall spell or other spell of equal or greater level can open a portal on a solid surface, destroys this layer. 5, blue. Failed save, 12d6 cold damage. Successful save, half as much. Additional effects. The layer is destroyed if it takes at least 25 fire damage. 6 is indigo. Failed save. The target has the restrained condition and makes a constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. If it successfully saves 3 times, the condition ends. If it fails 3 times, it has the petrified condition until it is freed by an effect like the Great Restoration spell. These success and failures needn't be consecutive. Keep track of both until the target collects 3 of a kind. Additional effects. Spells can't be cast through this layer, which it is destroyed by bright light shedded by the daylight spell. 7, violet. Failed save. The target has the blinded condition and makes a wisdom saving throw at the start of your next turn. On a successful save, the condition ends. On a failed save, the condition ends and the creature teleports to another plane of existence. DM's choice. Additional effects. This layer is destroyed by dispel magic. Moving on to produce flame. Produce flame. Conjuration cantrip. Druid. Casting time. Bonus action. Range. Self-components. VS. Duration 10 minutes. A flickering flame appears in your hand and remains there for the duration. While there, the flame emits no heat and ignites nothing. It sheds bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet. The spell ends if you cast it again. Until the spell ends, you can take the magic action to hurl fire at a creature or an object within 60 feet of you. Make a ranged spell attack. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 fire damage. Cantrip upgrade. The damage increases by 1d8 when you reach levels 5, 2d8, 11, 3d8, and 17, 4d8. Programmed illusion. Level 6 illusion. Bard, wizard. Casting time. Action. Range 120 feet. Components VSM. J dust worth 25 plus gold pieces. Duration until dispelled. You create an illusion of an object, a creature, or some other visible phenomenon within range that activates when a specific trigger occurs. The illusion is imperceptible until then. It must be no larger than a 30-foot cube. You decide when you cast the spell how the illusion behaves and what sounds it makes. This scripted performance can last up to 5 minutes. When the trigger you specify occurs, the illusion springs into existence and performs in the manner you described. Once the illusion finishes performing, it disappears and remains dormant for 10 minutes, after which the illusion can be activated again. The trigger can be as general as or as detailed as you like, though it must be based on a visual or audible phenomenon that occurs within 30 feet of the area. For example, you could create an illusion of yourself to appear and warn others who attempt to open the trap door. Physical interaction with the image reveals to be illusionary, since things can pass through it. A creature that takes a study action to examine the image can determine that it is an illusion with a successful intelligence investigation check against your spell DC. If a creature discerns the illusion for what it is, the creature can see through the image, and only noise it makes and any noise it makes sounds hollow to the creature. Project image, level 7 illusion, bard, wizard. Casting time, action. Range 500 miles. Components VSM. A statuette of yourself worth 5 plus gold pieces. Duration concentration up to 1 day. You create an illusionary copy of yourself that lasts for the duration. The copy can appear at any location within the range that you have seen before, regardless of intervening obstacles. The illusion looks and sounds like you, but it is intangible. If the illusion takes any damage, it disappears and the spell ends. You can see through the illusionary's eyes and hear through its ears as though you were in its space. As a magic action, you can move it up to 60 feet and make it gesture, speak, and behave in whatever way you choose. It mimics your mannerisms perfectly. The physical interaction with the image reveals it to be illusionary, since things can pass through it. A creature that takes the study action to examine the image can determine that it's an illusion with a successful intelligence investigation check on your spell DC. If the creature discerns the illusion for what it is, the creature can see through the image, and any noise it makes sounds hollow to the creature. Protection from energy. Level 3 abjuration, cleric, druid, ranger, sorcerer, wizard. Casting time, action. Range, touch, components, VS, duration, concentration up to 1 hour. For the duration, the willing creature you touch has resistance to 1 damage type of your choice: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Well, folks, this video is already too long, so we will end it here. Thank you for your likes and subscription. I trust that you find this useful for whatever your reasons, purposes. Please share this with those who can utilize it, such as those who are blind, trouble reading, as employment that makes them on the road with no time for reading, or other scenarios that I have not fathomed yet. You tell me. Stay tuned in for more spells descriptions. Until next time.